How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. We finally got the Super A in the garage. We cleaned out enough to get it in here, got it hauled down here, and now we can do a little bit of work to it and see if we can get it to start up. You remember we did the starter, so I got the battery on there, and we're basically just going to see if the starter is going to turn over and see if we can get a little bit done to this thing today. So I had to pick up a battery for this guy, and I did put some gas in it, and I had to put a new seal on the glass bowl on the bottom of the tank, which I just cut out of some cork board. So cork gasket cork material. It's worked out pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and hook up the battery and see if the starter is going to turn it over. Well, now it doesn't sound like we're getting any fire. So we're going to have to check it to see if it's getting spark. Okay, I'm going to take one of these wires off. Not sure, I should be able to use, well, let's just take a spark plug wire out. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and pull off. We're going to go ahead and pull off this hood so we can get a little bit of light on the subject here. Shouldn't be much to it. Should be able to pull this guy clean off here. So now we can see our motor. Whew. That's an old motor. So now what we want to do is we want to check this guy for spark. We want to check it for spark. So I guess what we'll do is we'll pull one of these caps off. This plug here, this thing here is shot. I mean, probably been on there 100 years. So I'm going to take another one here. None of them look really that good. But you remember that spark plug tester we had? We should be able to use this same spark plug tester on this motor and see if we have any type of spark on this thing. Okay, maybe I could turn this light off. Maybe it'll help us tell if there's any spark. Nope, no spark. No spark at all. So, no spark there. I'm debating on whether I should just pull a spark plug out and check a spark plug. I have the other tester. We'll use the other tester just to make sure. If there's something be wrong with that tester, we got one more here. I never trust just one tester. I'd rather have two. Even when I'm working with electricity, I always try to use two different testers. So let's try it again. No spark. But the starter sure works good. So we're not getting any spark. So on these old tractors, there's not a whole lot to the old tractor. Not much to it. It's been a while since I've really worked on these old motors. You have a coil, points, a condenser, cap, wire, plugs, and then this relay thing here. I don't know much about this relay. But it doesn't look burnt. I think we could take it off and look behind it to make sure it's all okay. It's some kind of a resistor here. But I think what I want to do is I want to see if the points are actually opening and closing and whether they're burnt clear up or what. The cap doesn't look too bad. Take a look at the button here. Nothing looks burnt up or anything, and actually don't look that bad. But we want to make sure the points are opening and closing. Okay, I just wanted to show some of you new folks out there to points that's never seen a set of points. This is what a set of points looks like. And they just run on this shaft right here. It's a square shaft, which is supposed to have a little bit of grease on it, but I don't see any grease on that one. We're going to have to clean this up. And these, what they do is they come open and close. You can see I open them and close them. So what you want to do is you want to see if the points are burnt. Up in here you'd have a big hole. They don't look too bad. We'll probably sand them down just a little bit. But this is the points, and this over here is your condenser. And this guy up here would be your coil. Like I said, I know this is some type of relay, but I'm not sure. I don't know much about this guy up here, and if some of you old farmers know about this thing, you could let me know. I know we had one on this tractor actually burnt up years ago. We had to replace it, but basically right now we got to get some spark. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean the points up. We'll sand down the points a little bit. We'll clean them up, put a little bit of grease on this guy, this square shaft here. And we're going to take every place that there's a wire and take it apart and clean it to make sure every one of these is getting good connections. Everything here, we want to make sure it's getting good connection. But also up this way, now I'm looking down in, this is behind the switches up here in the front. You got your little meter here, and this, I believe you pull this to get this thing to run. And I'm not sure, but I think this over here has something to do with the headlights. Of course, this one doesn't have headlights, but somebody said you'd turn it one and it would charge, and then turn it again, the headlights would come on. I'm not sure how that works. And we do have a fuse right here, which I pulled out and looked at, and it's good. There's nothing wrong with the fuse. So I kind of got this rat's nest back in here to look at to make sure all these are connected. But I see one right there in that corner right there, right in the center. That one's not connected, and I'm not sure. It's hooked to the key switch. It's hooked to the key switch there, but it's just hanging down by itself. It's going up, and that would be the switch I'm pulling on and off. So I don't know where that wire right there is supposed to hook. In the back of here, or did it hook in the back? These wires look pretty old. Well, we're going to have to get all these taken off and cleaned and put back on, just to make sure everything gets good connection. Okay, before I get started down in there, I'm going to go get ahead and get this battery unhooked. I'm going to make sure that battery's unhooked. I don't get no shorting out and sparks flying everywhere. It's going to be really hard for me to get you guys down in this hole so you can watch, and so I can clean. This is a tight spot down in here. There's not much room, and I need a light down in there. So and it's so daggone hot in this garage you can't hardly breathe. I got Julie out there cutting grass. We're just going to take one of these apart at a time, and I'm just going to take the screws out of it. Get rid of this light down in here. But I got to make sure I know which wires go where. So that's why I want to do just one at a time. This one only has 2 wires on it. Them 2 wires right there. So we'll get those 2 cleaned up. I'll clean off the connection and get them put back on there, and I'll just continue doing this with every wire on the back of this guy, just to make sure everything has got good connection. Okay, I'm trying to make more sense out of things here. Of course, I don't work on tractors that much, so I don't know a whole lot about this, but I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this battery box off. If I take this battery box off, it's going to give me better access to those wires down in there, and it needs cleaned inside anyhow. So we're going to go ahead and pull this battery box off. There's only 3 bolts. We'll take both sides off and we'll clean down in there while we're down in there. Oh, that makes it so much nicer. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to take the other side off too. And you can see what I mean by down in here needing cleaned out. Look down in there. I don't think it's ever been cleaned or anything. It's really full of garbage, but it also, like I said, gives us plenty of access to those wires in the back here. Okay, we may have just found a problem just by cleaning that out. I might have found a problem here. I'm going to show you what I found while I was vacuuming. So while I was vacuuming there, I was vacuuming in this corner, and look at this pretty wire here. It's all burnt off. It's taped up, but that tape ain't going to do it no good laying down on the metal down there. Now this goes over to that big round switch there on that plug right there, and it was taped up, but it was all burnt off, all crispy here, and you can see where it was corroded and laying down on the metal there. It went to this piece right there, this switch right here. So I don't know what that was, and why did they tape it off? Why did they leave it like that and tape it off? That's a good one. I don't know. Why wouldn't you have just taken the whole wire off completely? Would have been much easier than just taping it up. So I don't know about that one there. We'll probably just I might wait and see what you guys say what that wire was for. So it might have something to do with the 6-volt charging. I'm not sure. But this is the one I've been working on right here. And like I said, this is going to give me much more room to get in here and get all these taken apart and sanded down real good and put back on and see if we can get some kind of spark. Okay, while I was down in here looking at this wire, I went ahead and stuck these two wires on, but this wire here that's disconnected, it's completely disconnected, goes, there's one, I'm pretty sure, let's see here, there's two wires going to that fuse. It's going to the fuse, and this is one of them. So that don't make no sense to me. Why is that not connected? That don't make no sense. And where would it go if it was supposed to be connected? Would it go to one of these two? That's a good one. I might have to get a wiring diagram somewhere for this old A and see if we can find out the wiring diagram. Where's this wire go? Why is it unhooked? That's crazy. Why is it unhooked? I don't understand it. I'm gonna keep cleaning and I'll post a video, and if you guys have any information on this wiring, maybe you can help me out. But right now I'm just gonna take each one of them off and clean them and put them back on and see if we have any power. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead, we got all the wires pretty well cleaned up there. I'm going to go ahead and hook the battery back up, and I'm going to get up in here and see where we have power. See which one of these guys have power up here. Now this is the wire that didn't have the coating on it right here, and it's coming off the bottom right side of the big knob. If you're setting on a machine, it's on your right side. But this wire is on the right side on the bottom. Now over to the left, there's a screw here and a screw here, which has a spring going across it. I'm not sure what that spring, it looks like some type of a fuse. And then this wire on the top here, on the top of the spring, goes back to the alternator. And then this wire on the top right is going up to that fuse and coming out right here, and it's not hooked up at all. So the one off the fuse if you're setting on a machine, it'd be on your left, but looking at it here, it's on the right. It's not hooked up at all, and this one's bare on the bottom right of that from the way we're looking at it. So let's just see if there's any kind of power anywhere up here, because I figure if there's no power up here, then there's probably not going to be any power getting back to my points. And that, see, we got power right there on that side of the switch. Now let me pull the switch out, and now we got power on that side. Okay, power there. And there's power here on this side of the alt, or this would be your amp gauge. But I don't see the amp gauge moving at all. There's actually power on both sides of the amp gauge. And I was always told if the amp gauge doesn't work, then it wouldn't start. But there's power on both sides. So I'm going to go back to the coil and follow that one wire back to the coil and see if there's power on the coil. Okay, so we should have power back here. Good place to hook my ground here. We should have power in here, and we do. We have power right there, and we have power right there, and we have power right there, and we have power down here on the side of the distributor. So we do have power going into that, so it should spark. So not seeing any spark here. We'll just clean them points up and see if anything happens here. Maybe if we sand them down, maybe they'll spark. Okay, I sanded them off a little bit. I'm going to put a little dab of grease Don't want too much. I'm going to put a little dab of grease on there, and hopefully when that thing turns over, it will rub that grease on there good. So we got him, I cleaned him up there, so let's just hook the spark plug, or let's hook the battery back up and see if this thing has any spark now. It's hard to see. We're not getting any spark there. So now we're getting power up. We're getting power up to everything from up in the front. We got power all the way down to here. So could it be, I don't see any spark in there. I'm just wondering if it has something to do with the points in the condenser. We're going to need a points and condenser for this thing. Because those are not, I mean, they're old, but they're not that old. So, I'm not sure here. I'm kind of stumped. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit stumped. I'm thinking maybe we should try a set of points in there. And a condenser. Or maybe pull them out of there. And see what could be wrong in there. If the points would be grounded out or something. But, you know, that thing. Something's going on there. I'm hearing it. Oh, we got some juice in there. Let me turn that thing off. I'm just wondering if they might be shorted out in there somewhere. I guess we're going to go ahead and tear down into here and see what time are. Let's see if I can get that on the high spot. I think we're going to have to turn that over by hand. I'm going to go ahead and unhook that battery terminal. See if I can turn that over by hand and get that on the top. I want to try to get the points to the top. Make sure they're opening and closing okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mark these as from here down 1 through 4. This being 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm not saying this is the firing order for this. I'm just marking these because I want to take these wires off. I could mark them on the side of the cap too, just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I could take actually the whole, all these wires off, and they'll just be from the front back 1 through 4. And I'll get these out of the way because I need to take these spark plugs out and get this motor to turn over. So I can get that points on the high side so I can get them gapped, because I'm not sure whether it might be gapped a little too far. I'm not sure. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these spark plugs out. That'll give us a good chance to take a look at them. They look like they're about as old as the machine, so let's see if we can get them out of there. Wow, tight. Whew. Man, you could say they ain't been out there in a while. Man, them guys are really tight. Oh, that one's not tight. Whew, that's a big one plug. Big old plug. So we're just going to set this guy off to the side here. That one really don't look that bad or that old. But they look like they've been in there a while. They're a little bit rusty. Well, since that one was easy, maybe this end one over here will be a little easy. Yeah, it is. These are the only two that were easy to get to without taking the hood off. So they would be tighter, I guess. So I might have to get a cheater bar on these ones. Got just a little pipe here. Maybe I could put this on there and get enough leverage. Ooh! That's tight. And I don't have a spark plug socket that big. Wow, that's a tight plug. Ugh. I don't know. That's some pretty tight plugs. Let me get a little spray and put on these. Maybe we can loosen them up a little bit. Wow. Okay, I got me a little bigger ratchet. And I sprayed them, so hopefully I'll do a little more spray down in there. Get them to soak a little bit. I'll have to get me an extension. This is short. Them things are like really in there. Give them a little spray again. We'll keep doing this until we get them out. I bet you they'll go back in with some anti-seize on them. We might have this one now. Give her some more spray. These things are tight. Okay, we got that one out. That's number 3. Hopefully we can get the other one out without breaking it. Whew. Well, you can see that penetrating oil got all the way down around it. Next, I know we got this one to move a little bit, so we'll give it a try. I'm going to try turning this one back in just a little bit. See, well, maybe not. All right, we got them all out. All right, about beat me up. Got them out and the threads are good on it, so definitely got to put some anti-seize in these guys when we go putting them back in. So I basically wanted to get the spark plugs out so I could turn that motor over, because I can't turn it over by hand to get my points on top dead center here. Okay, I got my points at high center here. It's as high as it can go, and I'm not sure what they're set at, but that's something I'm going to have to look up. I'll have to get online or call up at a tractor place up near me and get the gap for them so we can get these set exactly what they're supposed to be. And then we'll see if we get any spark. We got power in there for sure. Actually, it shocked me, so there's power down in there. It's just not sparking between the points. And like I said, they look like they're gapped pretty far. Okay, by the looks of this, they're setting at about 22 thousandths. 22 thousandths. And I don't know what they're supposed to be set at. So that's something I'm going to have to look up, make sure I get it right. But I'm just wondering, we probably should go ahead and take all this out of here and clean it real good. Make sure there's nothing shorted out in here. There's a wire going up over this top here. I don't know what it looks like. But if it's shorted out, it's not going to get spark. Going over to the condenser. So that's what we're setting at, about 22 thousandths. Okay, for our first day having it home, I think we did pretty good. We got all the wires up there cleaned. Now, I'm going to do this video as I'm working on this tractor. So I'm not going to go any further on this tractor until you guys get to watch the video. And you can help me as I go along, try to get this thing up and running. So we got two wires up there. You seen the two wires? I'm not sure where them two wires go. One was coming off the big switch. If you're setting on the tractor, that big round knob, it was coming off the right hand side from looking from the back at the bottom. And the other wire is coming off that fuse that goes to the front. Now I don't know, I would think that fuse would have to mean something up there. But obviously, to somebody it didn't mean much because it's unhooked. So if I can find out where that's supposed to go and where that other wire, and like I said, this thing's been switched over from 12 volt, from 6 volt to 12 volt, the alternator. So I'm not sure how that all works up there in that front. And we finally got the spark plugs all out, and we'll probably, if we use the same ones or whatever ones we put in there, we're going to put some anti-seize on them to make sure that nobody ever has this same problem getting the spark plugs out. So we got the plugs out, we got the distributor shaft on the highest point there so we can adjust them points. We're just not getting any spark in there on the points. Now, could that be the condenser? I'm not sure. So we're going to look into it, and I got some friends that actually know a lot more about these tractors than I do that'll be able to help me. So, and then of course I've got all yins, and like I said, I'm going to keep these videos going. As I do the work, I'll post a video and then I'll do some more work. I'll post a video and I'll do some more work on it. That way you guys can go along with me on it and give me a hand with it. But I know this tractor is going to run. We just have to have patience and get it done. So I would like to tell everybody thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. And don't forget, click the little bell down there so you get them alerts when I post another video. Thanks for watching.